Hi, this is Jai Bharathi. I'm a biker by passion, but an architect by profession.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams.
మా డాడీ నేర్పిలే, మా ఆయన నేర్పిలే. మా డాడీని అడిగితేనేమో మీ ఆయన వచ్చిన తర్వాత అడుగు నేర్పిస్తా అన్నాడు. ఇంకా అంతే, మన్మలు కూడా వచ్చారు కానీ ఎవ్వరు నన్ను నేర్చుకొనియట్లేదు. And there's nobody with you. How do you come? They all went in cars and then I said, I came on the bike. So they were not able to believe. Like, ఒక రోజు నేను గ్రౌండ్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు she's so happy just that she's able to move the scooty. She's so happy. Then we taught her how to put a bike on a center stand. Yeah, not just on side stand. Police verification undali. To work in any of these apps, you have police verification. Women will be police verification. Amai. That was a great visual. And ఆ నిమిషంలో I forgot everything. And to me, so I think that's a very fair point. అంటే మన immediate owning auto as an asset is cheaper than owning a car.
Hi, welcome to On Air with me, Nivedita. And in the series of NGOs who do wonderful work, today I will be talking to Jai Bharathi, who everybody calls her as JB. So, hi, Jai Bharathi.
Hi.
You know something? Your short form is JB, right?
Yeah.
We call Jagpati Babu sir as JB.
Oh.
So when Padmaja told me JB, I was like, okay, JB.
Yeah. So that's what the other day we were going on the highway by the drive, and then Jagpati Babu's poster is there on somewhere on the Ramoji Film City Road with JB Valley and whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like, when did you buy something here? You didn't tell us. So no, that is a different JB.
So you've been doing such wonderful work through your NGO in Pilwala or your initiative or your pet project. However, I think all are synonym with that. So first of all, you're an architect by your profession, and now also a rider or biker, and you've been traveling across India, US, and meeting different people from different sections of the society. Or your profession included passion. What do you define it as?
I think if you would have asked me this same question 5 or 6 years ago, I would have just said it's a passion maybe. But now I think I did have that cues in the past, like from whenever I was working as a young girl. I think if I go back 20 years, I think I always had that pull in me to do something innovative or
the Akili antar kada.
Kind of
Akili to do
yeah,
couple of things.
Yeah, to problem solve, let's
yeah.
say. And maybe I found many different ways to do it, or I was always very enthused to do such things. But I think what I could sum it up is my passion as motorcycling has led me to do something meaningful with my life.
Hi, this is Jai Bharathi. I'm a biker by passion, but an architect by profession. Eventually, now I found my way to being a social entrepreneur.
So because see women motorcycle nadpadamu women is very less. So and definitely since you traveled across India, you have to go through ante chinna towns, villages. So definitely road మీద రాగానే or helmet తీయంగానే ఒక లేడీ నా అని ఉంటుంది. So was that the birth of MOWO?
Not really in Hyderabad, let's say. Motorcycling, scuba diving, cycling, those were never hobbies for us. Those, we only think of them as professional sport. You don't know that these things are or can be hobbies. Yeah, and especially in the time when I was in Bangalore, let's say 2009-10 our time no, this weekend culture came up.
Yeah,
lot more interest in travel, I would say. So we all used to gather and go somewhere and do all those things, and motorcycling was a part of it. Like over one weekend, all my friends are non-architecture friends. They're all into complete IT, and I am the only architecture soul there. So, we don't have a weekend culture. Saturdays are more crucial for us.
I would say every day is a Monday.
Every day is a Monday, and Saturdays are even more crucial.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's like, take my bike, you go on the bike. I just told him probably in introductions that I like to ride a bike, and I know that's all. Yeah. He never knew me, but the fact that I told him I know, I don't know how he had that confidence. He just gave his bike keys, gave the helmet, and I have never used Google Maps to that extent. Yeah, I had a business phone, that Nokia keypad type phone, and he's like, just put the location; it will anyway show you. And anywhere you're lost, you just keep asking for this route, like that highway or whatever. You'll be able to manage it. Just go. Even I didn't have any clue. I didn't even call my friends. I just sat on the bike, 2-3 points. I know that I've just memorized the map because I don't want to. There were no phone holders and all. So I didn't want to keep looking. So I'm like, what are the 2-3 turns I need to take to get onto the highway? And then I keep going. And then I showed up there by 11:30 or 12. Everybody was shocked. Like for them, the first thing is, how did you come? Like, at this time, there are no buses. Usually they're in the morning, night, and there's nobody with you. How do you come? They all went in cars. And then I said, I came on the bike. So they were not able to believe, like, it's a new place. You don't have a bike and, you're just fooling us around. You came with someone you're not saying. I said, come, just let's see. And that's the thing. I think Bangalore was a place where I kind of figured out what weekends are or, that my age or whatever the time of work. Yeah. And then slowly that kind of related into a lot of travel related thing. And as an architect also, I did some projects beyond Bangalore, which involved a lot of travel. And I think I enjoyed doing. And like you said, every day is a Monday for us. Like weekends is even more. We like to go and do some other passion projects again in architecture. So I did a lot of farm stays kind of places. Like I didn't realize that motorcycling was my passion. Yeah, no, I don't. I just thought I know how to ride. That's it. Yeah, nothing beyond it. But I would say travel was a real big passion. Up until in 2012, I just got back to Hyderabad and I was thinking, suddenly I think, oh, there is so much time. Yeah. Because here Sunday lazed around like Hyderabad, Sab Chalta, it's a very slow. No? So for me, coming from Bangalore to back to Hyderabad, it's like suddenly I feel there's so much time, right? And I happened to see a newspaper article about a challenge, which was again, 2011-12 is the time Hyderabad was picking up at these startup hubs and everyone is coming up with new ideas. So one of the guys put up, why don't we all do a challenge on visiting the UNESCO sites in India within 1 calendar year. So I thought, oh, it's very interesting. And I didn't mean to win the challenge because that's a calendar year which started in January. I only read that article in April. So suddenly I'm like, this seems very interesting. So maybe I can trade some weekends and probably go. That'll be one nice way to
also
go around the country.
Also will expand.
Then I hopped on to that challenge. Then it's like, obviously, travel is my passion. So I'm going around. A lot of media people were writing stories, especially in those days.
Very
a female traveling.
Yeah. On a bike, as a bike.
Not on a biker. Like I would just travel, like train, flight. I'm going to Delhi for a meeting. I'll just take a bus and then go to Shimla.
A solo traveler.
Kind of. And we would match up with those Google groups. Whoever were part of that challenge, it's called Go UNESCO Challenge. Whoever were a part of that challenge, we can write to each other. This weekend, I'm planning to go to this place. If any of you can, we either go together or join us. So we did those kind of trips. 1 or 2 of those, I did go on bike because they needed a... But again, motorcycling was never in picture as all those things, yeah. And then what happened was 2012 on 31st, I ended up in Goa, December 31st, and complete. That's the last site. I ended up being the winner of that challenge. And female traveler going around India, whether it is solo, group, just the fact that going to all these places within that 9 months or 1 year suddenly blew out of proportion. Like we knew it is a small this thing, but then it got a lot of media attention and a lot of national level stories were written and, all these things. That was a thing up till 2013. And when I posted that, then there were a couple of other women who knew how to ride. And that was the time the discussion started about there are very few women bikers. Why don't we get together and, start an association or so. The real story happened in 2011. Where Urvashi and a couple of other bikers from Pune and Bombay got together and went on a similar Ladakh tour. When they came back, they realized we are so many women, so let's start an association for women motorcyclists in India, which is called Bikerni. So that started in Pune in 2011. What we thought is, instead of starting something else, why don't we start the chapter of Bikerni in Hyderabad? So today Bikerni exists across 20 plus cities across India. It's not a big thing. It's a group of women bikers riding together. That's
But
all.
that movie was very well done.
Yeah.
And different age group.
Different age groups,
and different social background
Yeah.
mainly. And it was beautifully done. Their
So
problems.
the real idea of that movie is this group.
So this is the inspiration.
So that is, and they started it, and we said, let's just start that in Hyderabad. So when I started, because I already had lot of following because of my travel, and then like you said, women riding motorcycles in Hyderabad is never heard of.
Yes.
You may have one or two women who already know.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Two-wheeler is okay, but not
No,
as a heavy.
motorcycle నడిపే వాళ్ళు కూడా ఉంటారు.
చాలా
There are many
తక్కువ.
beyond us, but who may not outrightly come out and ride and showcase their stories. They might be just doing it for their own purpose. This is what brings me back to your question of when you take your helmet and if they say, oh, you are a lady rider, that I didn't realize was a very taboo kind of a thing. I thought everybody knows how to ride, so how does it matter? So when
Because
the
you're looking
media,
at it from your point of
Yeah.
view. The normal people
Normal
ఎలా
people
ఉంటారంటే,
కి, yeah.
it's always a head turner.
so when media wrote lot of articles, I should appreciate all the efforts the media put into this, because when media wrote all the articles, the good thing is they wrote the positive side of the story, how the girls born in Hyderabad are now living their life. Every time we put a post, we'll have 10 messages on WhatsApp or on Facebook saying that I know how to ride, so I also can I join, or I'm inspired by you, I also want to learn how to ride. I learned riding a bike when I was a kid. Now after wedding and kids and all, I want to get back to it, or I want to go to Ladakh. That's how the biking community came into picture. And because I was involved in running it continuously and keep the buzz going, that slowly led me to realizing that it's actually motorcycling which is my passion. So I'm always confused, is it travel or motorcycling? But then I thought both can be interrelated in some way. So that is how I think motorcycling, I realized, was my passion. But to me it is passion, but to ongoers it still is a curious thing that oh my
It is
god,
a head turner only.
it is a head turner. And from 2013 to now, in 12 years, where we were bunch of 10-15 women who ride motorcycles, to today we have more than 200 girls or women who ride motorcycles officially that we know. There might be many more.
No, it is like this Women's Day. There were many nice ads by very nice companies about the thinking of people. It's very biased. So we have been trained like that. So tell me, how was MOWO born?
For me, it is passion. It is out of my day-to-day living life or whatever. But for many, if you look back, even for basic commute of going from point A to point B, like even today, if you tell a woman in Hyderabad or anywhere in India that you have a new job opportunity, which wants you to, or which tells you to go from a particular place to particular place, her first thought is, can I do that job or not, is not the first job. Her first job is, how do I go? Is the company providing transport? Even if she's not thinking, again the bias, the family thinks that, oh, that's so far, how will you go on your own? Will you have to walk? Will you have to take an auto? So most of the women are not even able to take up many opportunities that come their way in today's world, where India is developing at a pace nobody can even believe. Women are still left behind simply because commute becomes a major constraint. And this is irrespective of their educational qualifications, socio-cultural conditions, or their income levels. This is a problem. So moving from one part to another part, or moving from place A to place B, is a crucial and a critical life skill in today's world. And then comes convincing them to learn how to ride or drive. But the women herself may or may not be ready. May be ready, but don't know how to learn. May not be ready, thinking, what will the society think of me? No, I want my father to drop, my brother to drop. If I go on my own, what will everybody think about me?
And the taboo society.
The taboo. Yeah. So because of that, maybe few of us, I consider privileged.
Many people have like gone back on
Yeah,
job
yeah.
opportunities.
Only because they don't know how to commute.
So this gives them that how you say financial independence. This is also very important because mobility is also very important. Otherwise, they're handicapped.
No, many women today, even at a very top level in their leadership roles in many of the companies, will, the minute they get married and have kids, will try to step back and say, I'm okay not to take that promotion because that means I'll spend more time in the work at workplace and coming back home becomes a problem. So I would rather stick to what I am and not grow in my career because I need to take care of the family as well. We had another NGO, Taruni ani, Mamta Raghuveer garu. So Akka also used to ask, Andaru nechukovalanunkuntaru, nobody. So we came together and we thought Saturdays or Sundays we'll do like a voluntary thing. ఎవరికైనా స్కూటర్ నేర్చుకోవాలి అని అనుకుంటే విల్ టీచ్ దెమ్ ఫ్రీలీ టు వియత్నాం అండ్ కేమ్ బ్యాక్ 17,000 kilometers, right? So that trip suddenly brought in a new angle in my life which I never knew that
and you're not made for it, or you never thought.
I'm never made to be a expedition leader, but it needed it. I jumped in, I did everything because I knew that this is a rare opportunity, and if we are doing it, we are going to inspire many people,
many women also.
But that
people definitely, because see, every house will have as a sister, mother, daughter.
Not just the women, right? Just bunch of 4 women going from Hyderabad, living their passion, can even inspire many men and women also, equally.
They are like those just men can inspire again the women, seeing confident women, and when they feel
for me
safe.
It was just like, oh, this expedition is happening, and all these things. 2 women in their mid-40s, I presumed at that time. I was later I realized I was wrong. In their mid-40s, wearing bike taxi jackets, number 13, 21. This is like in 2018. I still remember the number. So, and they were just sitting with their scooters, and one of the lady was just standing very confidently. And by the look of it, you know that they are bike taxi riders or delivery partners because covers were there and they were standing. To me, that was a great visual. And నిమిషంలో I forgot everything. And to me, they were heroes suddenly. And ఇప్పటి వరకు we were already crossing the borders and coming. Everyone is writing stories about us. But for me, they were the true heroes. And this is a visual I won't see back in my country. అప్పుడు కొంతమంది చేస్తున్నారు whatever, but that's not a common thing that you bump into.
Riding itself is little on the niche kada.
Yeah.
So obviously that is not there.
Yeah. Mana daggara in that same age group, you have so many women who are looking for multiple livelihood opportunities. And today, if you see, women between 35 to 60, let's say, may or may not have even basic education. Because ఇప్పుడు thankfully for all the initiatives that the governments are doing, last 20 years everybody would have gone at least up till 10th class. But for the population between 35 to 60, they haven't got primary education, and they may not have other traditional skill sets, like they may not be a weaver, they may not be from an agricultural field. అన్నీ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఒకటి, ఏమీ లేని వాళ్ళు చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు, and they are seeking for jobs. Huge need to have women drivers because women are looking for safe options, but that doesn't exist in our country simply because we don't have that as a concept or whatever. So I think all my return, I came back with a thought that why can't this be changed? And when I look back, I was only looking at, as volunteers, we are just teaching few women who can afford to come and learn for their offices or whatever. But this has to be a bigger movement. It can't just be a weekend voluntary thing.
Correct.
So that's when I came back and I thought, in the name of women empowerment, people have done phenomenally well. We have a lot of organizations who really helped women to get out, study, get out of domestic violence,
many things,
be independent, be empowered. They're training them best of the skills. But one thing which is lacking is nobody is training them how to drive. It doesn't have to be an independent skill, but whatever they are doing, this could be an additional skill. Bringing it back to my own life, what I felt is, for me, lot of my confidence as a kid, if I look back, comes from the fact that నాకు బండి నడపడానికి వచ్చు. సో ఎవరన్నా ఎక్కడికైనా వెళ్ళాలంటే the fact that I know how to go has never stopped me from accessing better opportunities or taking me to places. I think a lot of it stems from the fact that I know how to ride. So I think that the same skill, if we can give women, that is also one of the tools for, building up the confidence in many women. Simple thing like learning how to ride a two-wheeler, which is between 15 to 20 days. Suddenly the power that you can manage a motorized vehicle and you're able to balance on your roads, our time low, you'll forget the rest of the world. You're just focused on that. And that, builds your confidence. Beyond that is you can become a driver, access livelihoods. That is a rest of the story. But the initial chunk is to learn how to drive. So to work in this area, then when I came back, like I said, I was not meant to be an expedition leader, but because the opportunity arose, I took it up. And it's not a joke. If I go back and think, taking 11 people along who are total strangers, maybe one or two might have been my friends, not my childhood friends,
but yeah.
So my thought was, we are moving women in their thought. So let's just say MOWO. And then it was immediately accepted. I'm like, okay, that's a name, so go for it. So that was the birth of.
So now MOWO, you are training a lot of women in auto driving skills and two-wheeler driving skills. So this is for their mobility is one which I know, so that they get the confidence. She can be a small, woman working as a house help to a cook, or she can be even a, beauty parlor undochu, or at a higher white collar jobs undochu. Like that, you're also training them as women auto drivers also. So how is the acceptance been in that section of the society? And do you have to really explain? Because even if as a woman, even if you want to come, but there will be a lot of these checkpoints. Father will say, avasarama, nu ellala, nu earn cheyala, ilantivi society's taboo. So I'm sure you had to do all these, you have to deal with all these things.
So I think that's a very fair point. Ante మన immediate thing ఏమనిపిస్తుందంటే, will the family be supportive? Will the society be supportive? So instead of going through that lens, what I said is, let's make our women stronger. Then they can deal with all these things. Because every time I don't want the women to be dependent on us to answer back whomever they have to answer. We have to make them so confident that she can stand on her own feet and speak for herself. You don't need us. Like, I don't want MOWO to exist after 10 years. Because that's the time we want to work, and then they should be on their own. So the whole idea of MOWO is, it's easy for me to teach someone how to drive, but that's not what we do at MOWO. So the whole idea of MOWO is, under the umbrella, what we want to do is, first and foremost, is the advocacy. So under advocacy, we continuously do activities, initiatives, or events to build the awareness
levels also.
No, to build the awareness that women need mobility as a skill.
Yes.
So we are present in almost every social media platform. And we do a lot of national level campaigns too, where we raise the topic that in today's world, women need to know how to drive. So the women herself will decide she wants to learn, or the families who are seeing it will say, oh yeah, this is true. There is a women's NGO. Why don't you go and learn? So building that awareness is very, very crucial. And that is a huge step of what we do. And I think that I have to continuously do it for the next 5-6 years, until a time where it becomes a common skill like tailoring. Where everybody thinks that, now I'm at a certain age, I need to learn how to drive. So a commonality ravalante, it takes easily 10 years. It cannot happen overnight. So
Acceptance ravali.
Acceptance. That's it. Acceptance radanki, we need to break that barriers and make it a normalcy. So that is one. Second is, then depending on my resources or the partnerships that we have, the motor trainings, the actual motor trainings. And now we confine ourselves to two-wheeler and three-wheeler driving only. Again, maybe my dream is in the next 5 years, we should see some bus drivers and truck drivers, but that's like a far dream. But it has to start with basic ground. So my idea is, when we teach women how to ride two-wheelers, they first get onto the roads and get familiar with being in the traffic, managing all those, getting comfortable, which might take 1-2 years. then it's up to her whether she wants to become a taxi driver or then the path is easy. Then she can be on her own. She doesn't need. And in India especially, 70% of the population is still under a very low social economic group where access to learning mobility driving is a big thing.
Yeah.
But car nerpichna, the kind of jobs they'll have is only in the urban areas. And they cannot own the asset. They cannot use the car every day for their
purposes.
Those kind of people already have car training centers. People can pay a fee and go. I'm not reinventing the wheel. So my focus is only on 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers at MOWO because that's where is a basic thing that they get out and ride. And 3-wheelers is basically in the city's transport. Apart from public transport, ఈ చిన్న last mile connectivity women face a lot of problem. And if our place lo women drivers unte, and for a women driver too, owning auto as an asset is cheaper than owning a car. And it's much easier to maintain, and especially with the invent of electric autos, it has become much easier. Because already taxi unions.
So you also focus on electric major.
Electric only in the autos. 2-wheeler we used to do on fuel-based scooters, but now we completely shifted to electric scooters because tomorrow, if that is going to be the future, we don't want to teach them a skill which becomes redundant. So, and there is a lot of phobia, right? Again, advocacy. The minute you think of electric scooters, women think that, oh, it will blast. So what we do is, no, we'll teach them on electric scooters and autos because we believe that it works. It is up to them. We never force anyone to buy only electric scooters. It is up to them. You learn on this because operationally that also works for us. We don't have to invest in fuel in the name of anything. When you work towards it in the name of doing good, we are also doing some harm. Yeah, inevitably. And in this thing, if by putting in so much fuel for training, we are doing harm to the environment. So at least balance it out with.
And it's also better to be future ready, kada.
So autos entante, so 2-wheeler we train to anyone who walks into the training center in Kukatpalli, which is built by Department of Women and Child Welfare, Government of Telangana. It's a purpose-built track. It's India's first motor training center built exclusive for women. Because if women బయటకు వచ్చి నేర్చుకోవాలంటే we can't teach them. This is not a skill. It has a track. It's the first in the country. It's the first track built for women. And it is in DMSVK, which is a skilling center of Women and Child Welfare Department, where women are anyways coming from the past 30-40 years to learn various skills. So what we said is, why don't you give driving as a skill? So we are technical partners. So we conduct the trainings and they have built it. So it's a beautiful collaboration where it is benefiting the women who really need to learn. So we are not outrightly going and teaching everyone, thousands of people, but teach to them who really need that as a skill. 2-wheeler we teach for anyone, like whoever walks in. But 3-wheeler, what we do is, we try to teach only to those who are seeking livelihoods. So అందులో కూడా it's not very easy. మనం నేర్పించాలనుకుంటాం. First when we started MOWO, we wanted to teach 2-wheeler and 3-wheeler together. Nobody would show up. We would go into neighborhoods, take the auto. No, auto మేము ఎట్లా నడిపిస్తాం, ఎవరేమనుకుంటారు, all those things. 2021 and 22 we did a small experiment. We taught 50 women in Charminar and 50 women in Delhi to drive electric autos as a pilot project. Now, if you go to Charminar, you'll find women driving electric autos in burqas and all. Looking at them, suddenly there is an openness. Ippudu just last year, we put up a campaign where we said in 5 different cities, we are going to train 100 women to drive electric autos, and we seeked people can apply for that. It's a free course. We'll give the license, but you have to work as a auto driver, and we'll give you access to the autos through loans or whatever. So 21 or 2019 when we approached, nobody would show interest. Now you put an article and 100 people walked in. Because
it's evolved also.
We see these women driving, so we can also drive. So there's a circle of influence. So
influence, dhairyam, and when you have some
is also a possibility.
Possibility, it's acceptance.
Yes, acceptance.
So ఏం జరగలేదు కదా, okay, safe atmosphere ఉంది.
ఇప్పుడు because these trainings are conducted at Women's Skill Training Center, ఇప్పుడు Department of Women and Child Welfare Office అమీర్పేటలో ఉంది. We put up a big billboard saying that government taraf nunchi with this NGO we are doing free auto trainings, everkani interest in all randi. Our poster lo, now that board is an influencer for many men. Most of the auto drivers or cab drivers are now looking at that board, coming in. They'll first make a call, is it real or is it fake? But our acceptance could eppudu ostundante when the government's involved too. Just imagine a lady with her gunga. Why can't she just sit on a rickshaw, wade through these lanes? What stops her? She hasn't realized that she can do that as well. Moving women in their thoughts. Once they move in their thoughts, then rest all is history. And then they know that, okay, there is a good credibility on the otherwise. Unfortunately, in today's world, women also go through a lot of social media influence where they say that we'll teach you this skill, you have to come sign a contract, or there are antisocial things also happening. So, chala mandi women who come to us, first question they have is it real or fake? Yeah. So, we make the husbands talk or the men in the family talk. Once they know that this is a real training and women are going to train, then they come in and start.
Register and
so that is still a barrier. So we do a lot of innovative things to build that awareness and then do the trainings.
So now you said it's there in different cities kada country lo. So Hyderabad ఒకటే మేజర్ గా చేస్తున్నారా? తెలంగాణలో also you had recent drive.
Women in mobility or mobility based NGO. We, unlike many other women empowerment NGOs, మా దగ్గర we only focus on mobility. And training women for mobility as a skill is not recognized yet as a charitable thing. సో ఏ సిఎస్ఆర్కి వెళ్ళినా కూడా ఓ ఇది మా దాంట్లో లేదు, రెగ్యులర్గా హెల్త్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్. సో వీ డోంట్ ఫిట్ ఇన్ టు మెనీ ఆఫ్ ది ట్రెడిషనల్ funding categories. So we are limited by resources, but in that, the innovative thing what we do is try to partner with collaborative partners, be it the governments or the private entities, and see ultimately how we can help the women. So in Telangana, we work primarily in Hyderabad, but we've also trained women in Naranpet as a camp. We did some trainings in Warangal very recently. We trained 6 women to become delivery partners as a part of a project which was led by Will Grow. But we did our training. Now they are working as Swiggy delivery partners in Warangal. This is very livelihood focused. Then again, now we just started our trainings in Sangareddy, and soon we'll be launching in Karimnagar also. So outside of Hyderabad, it's always limited. We do like camps. Bitspilani Hyderabad campus law, I went as a speaker for their Women's Day. And it turned out to be we training their sub-staff who are gardeners, landscape cleaners, all those people. We taught 150 women there. My trainers went there, stayed on the campus, and 150 women learned how to ride scooters. So we do such camps outside of Hyderabad, but we did trainings in Delhi. But through our advocacy campaigns, one of the advocacy campaign we did was in 2021, where I went on a motorcycle across many countries in India. And last year, we went from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Between these two advocacy campaigns, which we call moving boundaries, we have gone to close to 22 states across the country to build that awareness. So it's not just about building an awareness in that particular state, but if there are a bunch of women on the road talking about the same topic, we do events, and social media garners a lot of interest.
That word of mouth adds
then suddenly everybody thinks that, oh, okay, women can learn how to drive. So the best impact I would see is, while it is a continuous process, like last year we went from Kanyakumari to Kashmir on an electric auto ride. I was on an electric motorcycle because they still need that motivation for someone to do. And the women whom we trained to drive in Hyderabad and Delhi, those 2 were drivers. And we had 3 more drivers who are regular auto rickshaw drivers from different states. So we took 5 women who rode one auto 5 days, like a relay.
Okay.
Because in their minds, we had 3 women who have been riding for the past 15-20 years in their own cities. But the fact that let's do an expedition, how can I come beyond Chennai? How can I come beyond Ranchi? मुझे तो कुछ नहीं पता. 2-3 दिन छोड़ के मैं family को कैसे आ सकती? All these phobias, right? And then we did the relay pattern. Instead of taking 2 people, let's take 5, and they will take turns. The minute they came and they did 5 days, all the drivers said, ma'am, next time bole to you should tell me only, because now I can come or take us. Abhi to hum nahi pooch sakte, but I think we can do. For them also, it's an eye opener. So our trip lo emaindante, the whole focus was, with that trip we want 500 women to sign up.
Very interesting is the challenge of mobility, of getting them outside the house in their city, now bringing them outside from the city to a town to state and across the country. That itself is confidence which
unbelievable in their minds, right? So now looking at them, not looking at me, they are the heroes. Looking at them, wherever we went, we conducted events, and we said we are going to come back and train 100 women to drive autos. So you can send in your request. And we also ran a WhatsApp poll for the people who are looking digitally. We didn't even go to Chennai. Yeah, we only did from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. But the maximum number of requests came from Chennai that we want to learn an auto. That is because there is a lot of
buzz around.
media buzz around it and digital space as well. And this suddenly becomes like a, again, cycle of influence that now they want to sign up and they want to learn. So it becomes easier for me. Now this year we are focusing on going and training all these women.
So you also said that Swiggy delivery partners, though you're working, how are they working in certain limited hours? Or because women are again usually they would want to get back to family after sunset. So alantive they are doing or they're available, and if they're electric auto drivers in Hyderabad, are they based in particular area lone kanipistunnara lekapothe across the city kuda?
Yeah, one is when we talk about Swiggy or any kind of, let's say, the last mile delivery or commute, all your Swiggy, Uber, Ola, everything comes into it, right? So indulo emavutayante, these are very peak hour based things. If it is a ride, morning, evening, peak hours. And if it is food delivery, it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. And most of the people earn a lot during weekends. But unfortunately, it works against women because they want to finish their household chores
And then get on to the work.
and then again come back home by the time child is back to home or everybody is at home. So the probable timing for them to work remains
Long
from
hours
8 a.m. to 6 p.m. only. They cannot almost do night shift because
and
it doesn't.
time would be the maximum delivery, be it even grocery.
Any Swiggy delivery partner or grocery, whatever, make most of the money during that time. So unfortunately, women are not able to do. Two-wheeler kochesarki. But what they are able to do is deliveries with premium brands like Blue Dart. A lot of our women work with Blue Dart because premium brands ayesarki, they are in nice locations with better office facilities. So for a woman to go to this delivery hub, pick up her packages, it is decent enough, and then she can work only in the neighborhood. She doesn't have to come from ECL to high-tech city. Within ECL, 4-5 kilometers, she can work for, initially she'll take 6 to 7 hours per day. But once she grabs that and 2-3 months చేసిన తర్వాత they're finishing in it 5 hours, they'll go back home. So that is working really well. Autos kochesarki, it is irrespective of the areas. The only differentiation is, now the other thing what we do is, especially with livelihoods, we give them an extra training. Meeta normal ga aithe only vandi nadapadam nerpistamu. We tell them to get the learner's license and all. But auto kochesarki, we give them what is called upskilling. They may know how to drive an auto, but wala PAN card, Aadhaar card linked untene they get loans. Or they can work in this field. So it's another level. A document, police verification undali. To work in any of these apps, you have police verification. Women will be police verification. Amma intlo valle emantaru. No. Police verification, it's not a big thing.
Yeah.
You go to a nearest police station or a Me Seva, fill a form, you get it. So we had to, it took 3 months for us to break that, to say that it is just a document. Mem kuda passport ki bettina, mem kuda eltamu. So it's not like somebody is going to really check into your criminal background, or it's not about that. It's to మీరు బయటికి వెళ్ళి చేస్తున్నారంటే అవతల మీ నుంచి సర్వీస్ తీసుకునే వాళ్ళకు కూడా కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ ఉంటుంది కదా, దట్ షీఈస్ అ ట్రస్టెడ్ ఇండివిజువల్. యా, సో దెన్ livelihoods-ki we also train them how to use the maps, because women traditionally have never been using navigation. And especially from this sector who wants to work as an auto driver, వాళ్ళకి మ్యాప్ నేర్పించడము. How do you use, for you want to work in Uber, Ola, Rapido, ఇప్పుడు any driver is using 3-4 apps.
3-4 apps.
So how do you use your phone? మీకుండే basic phones will shut down. Yeah, so whether you want to have 2 phones or ఉన్న phone లోనే ఇంటర్నెట్ ఎట్లా ఉండాలి, ఇది ఎట్లా ఉండాలి, how to accept digital payments. So this is a new game. So beyond driving, we teach
training
all of them.
Of all these things.
And also on where to park their autos. For example, now we are training 100 women in Hyderabad and similarly in Bangalore, Chennai. So depending on where they come from, we try to tell them. For example, if someone is in and around Kukatpalli, we say that fly between Kukatpalli, high-tech city, you'll get enough rides. Somebody is in Secunderabad area, go and stand at a railway station. Somebody is proximity to metro station, stand. So we also give that kind of guidance so they can, get better rides in their own neighborhood. So our idea is women don't have to crisscross the city in the name of livelihood. Within 8 to 9 kilometers, fortunately in today's world, we have enough jobs for a woman to do and earn a decent income of 15 to 20,000 through a two-wheeler or 25 to 35,000 with a three-wheeler, with her own comfort and all those things.
Actually, I was coming to that question of how much, because at the end of the day, mobility, of course, yes. But at the end of the day, they also want to know how much they'll be able to earn. So this is a decent amount for them. And also, valla control lo undi. They're not going to any unknown places. It's in your control. Yes. And mobility gives you a lot of power.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, there is so much power to women that you're giving. Any success story that you'd like to share?
Success begins with any women who makes that call and decides to walk onto the track with the thought that I want to learn or I can learn how to drive is a success for me.
Yeah. Confidence ivadam itself.
Because lot of women akkad varaku kuda raleru. It's like if they come there, that's a success in itself. Then learning a two-wheeler or three-wheeler is not at all a big win for us. That will just happen.
Fast that's not the thing at all.
They will, because the barrier is in their mind. They think that, oh, I can't learn. నేర్చుకునేటప్పుడు పడిపోతే ఏమైపోతుంది, పక్కన చూసే వాళ్ళు ఏమంటారు. బట్ అవన్నీ వదిలేసుకొని వాళ్ళు వచ్చారు అంటేనే they've crossed that. That's a huge success. But beyond that, there are many stories. అంటే కొంతమందికి it's very easy. They walk in, they learn and they go. But for a lot of women, like first batch lone when we taught, we had a lady who was like 58 years old. Inka mem official ga trainings start cheyaledu asalu. We were just having a discussion with the GHMC commissioner at that time, Harichandana ma'am, wall office lo, saying that mem itla we want to start a motor training academy in those days, and we need a place, and we can. Then there were a group of SHG women waiting for me outside of her office. They overheard the conversation, and they're like, ma'am, కట్టే వరకు ఆగాల, మా అందరికి చాలా నేర్చుకోవాలని ఉంది, మా ఇంటి దగ్గర గ్రౌండ్ ఉంది, మీరు ఇక్కడే వచ్చి నేర్పించండి, కావాలంటే మేము డబ్బులు ఇస్తాం. అట్లా కాదు, ఐ నీడ్ అ ప్రాపర్ ప్లేస్. ఇస్ లైక్, బట్ దెన్ we started trainings without even having an academy. వాళ్ళు ఐడెంటిఫై చేశారు. We sent the trainers there, and though we want to give free trainings, right now 90% of our trainings are free. But the first batch started with women paying actually. And నేర్చుకోవడానికి వచ్చినప్పుడు there was a 58-year-old. She came and she's like, మా వాళ్ళందరూ చెప్పారు మా ఇంటి దగ్గర ఎవరో వచ్చి బండి నేర్పిస్తున్నారని, మీరు ఓన్లీ వాళ్ళకే కాదు మాకు కూడా నేర్పియాలి. నేర్పియమని అనలేదు కదా ఆంటీ, బాయ్ ఎందుకు అట్లా అంటున్నారు అని అంటే, కాదు నేను నేర్చుకుంటా అంటే నాకు ఇప్పుడు మన్మలు కూడా ఉన్నారు, నీకెందుకు అమ్మమ్మ, నేను నీకు డ్రైవర్ ఇస్తా, కార్ ఇస్తా అంటారు కావాలంటే, కానీ నన్ను ఎవ్వరు నేర్చుకొని ఇవ్వట్లేదు. అదేం లేదు, నాకు ఈ వయసులో వస్తుందో రాదో, అందరు నన్ను కానీ నాకు నేర్చుకోవాలని చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి ఆశ. ఎవ్వరు నేర్పిలే, మా డాడీ నేర్పిలే, మా ఆయన నేర్పిలే. మా డాడీని అడిగితేనేమో మీ ఆయన వచ్చిన తర్వాత అడుగు నేర్పిస్తా అన్నాడు. ఇంక అంతే, మన్మలు కూడా వచ్చారు కానీ ఎవ్వరు నన్ను నేర్చుకొని ఇవ్వట్లేదు అంటే నేను చెప్పా, ఐ టోల్డ్, మిగతా వాళ్ళకి తొందరగా వస్తుంది, మీకు లేట్ వస్తుంది, మీరు ఏం పెట్టుకోవద్దు, మీరు నేర్చుకోవాలి అంటే నేర్పిస్తాం, నో ప్రాబ్లం. సో ఇట్ వాజ్ అ వెరీ గుడ్ విజువల్. The way we train is నార్మల్గా స్కూటర్లో వెనకాల కూర్చొని నేర్పించాం. We first make them balance the scooter because lot of women fear that బండి బరువుగా ఉంటుంది, పడిపోతాం. So we make them move it without turning it on. So they get used to the balance or the weight of the scooter and then they ride. So it is a very nice picture I clicked. అంటే ఒక రోజు నేను గ్రౌండ్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు she's so happy just that she's able to move the scooty. She's so happy. Then we taught her how to put a bike on a center stand. Yeah, not just on side stand. సో ఫస్ట్ టైం కదా, సో నేర్పించి టెక్నిక్ అంతా ఇట్లా ఫుల్ ప్రెషర్ ఇట్లా పెట్టి వెయ్యగానే all the women around her just clapped and one said, I have that recording, I was so happy we recorded it. They clapped and she said, India won. So for them, it's like just an elderly lady putting a scooty on a center stand. It's like a big win. Yes. Like, and for me personally, that is a big moment initially when I started. But of course in 6 years now.
It's a small leap is a big leap.
Yeah, that is a belief system, right? If she can do, anyone can do. So 6 years down the line, we trained 3,500 women across all our camps and all those things. But very recently now, because we train women how to drive autos in Charminar, now there are a lot of women who are coming and saying we want to learn. So one of the women, she does all
But
these jobs.
Charminar also to break this barrier would have
So
been
it's a
challenge, and achieving it's a bigger.
And one more thing is, వాళ్ళని చూసి so many are learning. And one of the trainer మన దగ్గర నేర్చుకొని, now she became the trainer. Now she's training other people. Yeah? And one lady particularly, Vani, recently she learned. She's like, ఆటో నాకు తొందరగా వచ్చేస్తుంది మేడం, మీరు మంచిగా నేర్పియాలి. And literally she learned it in 20 days. She's our first candidate in this batch who went and got the license. Now she's waiting that the auto will come and she'll ride. So she says, you know, I am already very empowered, but I still felt that auto నేను ఎట్లా నడిపిస్తా, but my husband supported. In fact, ఆ billboard చూడగానే husband got her for the interview and she's like, నిజమేనా, నేర్చుకోవచ్చా, ఏమంటున్నారు. But how she moved past that, and now she's able to encourage others to learn. That is one great success story. Now I'm waiting to see her roam around the city
and
streets.
they themselves become brand ambassadors.
Yeah, that's all we need. And టూ-వీలర్కి వచ్చేసరికి వీ డూ ట్రైనింగ్. లైక్ ఐ సెడ్, కొంతమందికి ఆల్రెడీ డ్రైవింగ్ వచ్చు బట్ లైసెన్స్ ఉండదు, ఆర్ దే ఆర్ నాట్.
Small hiccups ఉంటాయి కదా.
సో వీ ట్రైన్ కప్. సో దిస్ సర్లా అని ఒక అమ్మాయి, తను కూడా ఫ్రమ్ ఈసీఎల్. సో తను ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ అసలు ఒక ఇంటర్వ్యూకి రావడానికే ఈసీఎల్ నుంచి పంజగుట్ట రావాలి అంటే మ్యాప్లో పెట్టుకున్న ఫ్లైఓవర్ పైన చూపిస్తుంది కదా, షీ వుడెంట్ నో. ఇక్కడే తిప్పుతుంది, నాకు తెలియట్లేదు, నేను వెళ్ళిపోతాను. No, you just stand where you are, we'll come and pick you up. From that day to now, in 3 years, she's a top performer in one of the Blue Dart delivery hubs, where she delivers 70 to 80 packages or even 100 packages in a day, on par with the male counterparts. And she's often seen as a inspirational person in that entire segment. And somebody who never did any job being in the city because husband is working, and she never felt there was a need. But now she's working and contributing to their kids' education. Proudly she says, మా అబ్బాయి కాలేజ్ ఫీజ్, అమ్మాయి కాలేజ్ ఫీజ్ నేనే కడుతున్నా. And today she's earning 23,000, 24,000 depending on at her own.
And the time kuda వాళ్ళ disposal.
At their disposal. And the transformation I've seen in her is like phenomenal.
Yeah, so that's how it is. It's a chain reaction. ఒకరితో ఒకరిని చూసి ముందుకు రావడం, word of mouth. And if she's able to do, why can't you do?
And the bigger picture is, we never started MOWO to say that, oh, we want to train thousands of women, there ends the job. We always wanted this to become a normalcy, and it won't become a normalcy when we are teaching it as a skill. It has to become a continuous movement or a process, and become like, you know, everybody is talking about it. It shouldn't end with us. So to whomever we train, the job doesn't end with training them. We have to prepare them that they can be the role models for the people in their.
Yeah, that's what, like I said, they are the brand ambassadors, and they are the ones who will add the confidence and inspiration to many more to come.
A lot of women who we train, we tell them to come back as trainers, because the bigger key is having women trainers. Yes. And వాళ్ళు నేర్చుకున్నారు కాబట్టి ఇట్స్ ఈజీ ఫర్ దెమ్ టు టీచ్.
అండ్ వాళ్ళ స్టోరీస్ చెప్తారు కదా, వాళ్ళు ఇప్పుడు ఏమైనా డౌట్ వచ్చినా దే
know how to navigate it.
and how to convince them and tell their stories. So my question is, what's the color?
MOWO అనగానే యూజువల్గా డిజైనర్స్కి ఇవ్వగానే విమెన్ ఇది అది అంటే దే విల్ కమ్ విత్ ఆల్ కలర్స్. ఐ క్లియర్లీ సెడ్, డోంట్ make it like a very women kind of a thing. So thankfully we are in the palette of browns. So we have brown, orange and a family of 5 in that lighter and darker shades. So we have nothing to do with pink. In none of our advocacy or whatever, we stick to those
So
brown
that's a very
palettes.
good thing.
Yeah.
So what is MOWO's future plans?
So MOWO's future plan is, like I said, we started out of Hyderabad, and we played a very pivotal role in building country's first motor training center. Now the dream is to build such motor training centers across other states as well. So we have now spent 6 years. So 5 years avagane we knew, and when we start with the hypothesis that this will work. 5 years we could survive with 2 years of COVID, still did more than what we started off on. Gave us a lot of push that there is so much more which can be done. And if you look at women and mobility, there isn't enough research. Even if you look at your RTA today, why do a lot of NGOs come in, or why do a lot of new skill initiatives come? They say that, oh, we have 1,000 mechanics, and there is a new industry which is coming up. So we need to do skill training for 10,000 mechanics to take up those jobs. So there is enough research which comes into place, or market analysis. Or when it comes to women and mobility, it is rarely research subject when it comes to India. You don't even have proper statistics as to what is happening. So now this 5 years we have started focusing also in building a research vertical, because with our learnings we are continuously now trying to see how it is going to help and how other states can learn from Telangana and build these kind of unique initiatives which look for non-traditional skill sets, very futuristic, not some redundant skills. That is one. And second is spreading our wings across other states. And like I said, at least in the next 5 years, now we want to go from 3 wheels to multiple wheels. So let's see where it goes. So if we have enough number of women riding 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers in the next 3-4 years, then we can look at, can they become bus drivers, can they become truck drivers? So that is like a bigger vision. Or let's say, like I said, how do we make women in mobility a normalcy? So the general dialogue we say is, oh, 1 in a million people do it, so it's not normal, so reverse it. So our goal is to enable 1 million women in mobility, and that's where MOWO ends. Because if 1 million women are riding on the roads for whatever purpose, then we cease to exist.
Yeah, that shows the success story.
So,
For all this wonderful activity they're doing, suppose the audience wants to get connected with you, how do we get in touch with you?
So thankfully we are across all the social media platforms. We have our website where somebody can message us. We have our phone numbers listed. We are on all social media platforms. Anybody can reach out to us. The kind of work that we set out to do is, like I said, I can't change this in one day. It takes minimum 10 years to see 1% increase, not even like, And of course, we need a lot of supporters in many ways. People can volunteer with us. They can be our ambassadors. They can donate. All the information they can find on our website or on our social media websites. And they can be supporting us in multiple ways.
And what do you tell for the young girls?
I think for the young girls, thanks for adding that young girls, because when we are young, we have the ability to learn many skills. So don't restrict yourself to what you're studying or the skills that you like, but always explore and invest into multiple skills. Not like you don't have to ace at everything, but whatever your core is, maintain that core. But beyond your core, have 3 or 4 maybe related or unrelated skills. Today, I am an architect, but I have become an entrepreneur out of nowhere, and I am, and I come from a time where entrepreneurship was not
accepted,
not
also
heard about.
Ante bayam undedi jana.
Bayam undedi, and I am learning as I go. But if you already have these skills, irrespective of whatever you want to do in your life, you will never feel the urge that will I be able to do it. You will be more confident when you have a combination of skills, because we are living in a world where things change like every year. So. But never lose the zeal to learn new things. So I still spend 2 hours a day learning new things.
Yeah, the hunger has to be there. So thank you so much, and it was wonderful talking to you, because like you said, mobility to gets confidence, and she can go achieve much more and be an inspiration, like the old quotation of Nehru, where he says, when you educate a woman, you educate the entire family. So when you give mobility to a woman, she makes sure that there is confidence built and also inspiration to everybody. So thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you. Great show. All the best.
The stereotype is women cannot handle, be it 2-wheelers or cars or even trucks. And if I can change it, why not?